Friends, hello and welcome back. Hopefully everyone is having a lovely day. So let's talk trade. Let's talk trades that are 127% going to happen in the NHL in the future. Oh yeah, you definitely see it. I mean, why would Toronto not want to trade Matthews? Why would McKinnon not want to, or why would the Avalanche not want to trade McKinnon? I mean, come on. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about unlikely trade scenarios, but also very interesting ones. Who would be winning this trade? Who would take this trade? Sending Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar, two of the best there are in their positions, to the Toronto Maple Leafs for Auston Matthews, who also one of the best there is at his position, and Mitch Marner and Willie Nylander, who are very, very good players themselves. Now, obviously, one of these teams coming off a Stanley Cup, the other one coming off of, I'm sorry, Toronto. I won't bring up a lot of first round balances. Okay, I brought it up. I'm sorry. That was it. I'm done. That's all I'm going to say. But, I mean, if you're Toronto, do you say, hey, you know what? Auston Matthews, I mean, this is an absolute stud. Reigning Hart winner, reigning Maurice Richard winner. And this guy can put the biscuit in a basket. He is one of the most, if not arguably, we can't say that. Not when McDavid's on the ice. Who am I kidding? I got to slow it down a little bit. One of the most complete players in the NHL at the center position, dominant in the dot, dominant on both ends, can put goals up on his, or put pucks in the back of the net, we should say, on his own with whoever you put around him. Meanwhile, we can talk about Auston Matthews like that, but Nathan MacKinnon is not too shabby himself. Another guy who you can say arguably can put up points with no matter who he plays with. He can carry whoever he plays with. I think both of these centers carry that ability. I think McKinnon's obviously the guy that has proven in the past and still is a guy that can help produce more goals in general. He might not be as good scoring the goals, but he can produce those goals, produce more points, help those guys around him a little bit more. Where he does lack, obviously, is being more of a two-way player. When we talk about the face-off percentage, as a complete center, you should probably be winning more than 45% of your draws. Nathan MacKinnon, 27 years young. Auston Matthews, 25 years young. So you consider 2 more years in the prime Colorado would be getting out of Auston Matthews. But Cale Makar's where things get spicy. Cale Makar's 23, an elite defenseman, one of the best defensemen in the league, and arguably could be a top 3 defenseman for the next decade. Opposed to where you're getting in exchange Mitch Marner and William Nylander, who, let's say, Nylander 26, Marner 25. Okay, they're a year older than this. I can remember that we're in the game. So they're essentially a little bit older than this later in the year. But I don't think you're going to get Marner. I don't think you can get Nylander to say elite top 10, top 5 wingers in the league for the next 10 years. They could be top 10, top 15 for the next, I would say, 5 to 7. Marner specifically, maybe not. I don't know how I feel about Nylander, but Marner I feel really good about. But if you look at this trade on the surface, you say Matthews and MacKinnon. Would you give the nod to MacKinnon here? I think you should. Makar. Man, that's tough though. Matthews, MacKinnon. I don't know who. Honestly, there's a really good debate there. I don't even want to say you give MacKinnon the nod. But from a Marner Nylander standpoint, I think you definitely give Makar the nod there and say you'd much rather have Makar than these two players, one or the other, one for one. I wouldn't do Makar for MacKinnon. Or I wouldn't do Makar for Marner. I wouldn't do Makar for Nylander. The question is, how much do you value a defenseman like Cale Makar that you could have for the next 10 years? Opposed to 2 wingers. Where's the value at here? I know it sounds crazy on the surface saying, let's give up Marner and Nylander, and that's a lot for a defender. But if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs and you say, we still have Tavares, we still have Ryan O'Reilly, you bring in Nathan MacKinnon, who can, I think, give you the same production Matthews could. The question is, if he plays with a Marner, if he plays with a Nylander, it's like, I think MacKinnon cancels them out where he don't need to play with Marner and Nylander. Much like I don't think Matthews does, but obviously play them together that much nastier. I don't think he needs to play with those guys. And you say, okay, you subtract one of these guys, but that's all right because MacKinnon's going to carry whoever he plays with. Now let's talk defense. Let's talk Cale Makar. Cale Makar comes over and plays. This team clearly, if they had a little bit better defense over the years, it's hard to argue this team could make a bigger push. And maybe a guy that can really be a great playmaker, a good point man on that power play. Would that be the thing that finally turns the Toronto Maple Leafs over? I mean, if you continue to do the same thing year in and year out, and expect different results and just do the same thing. I mean, it's almost the definition of insanity. So if you're the Leafs and you say, hey, maybe we bring in an elite top stud defender and we make things work. Maybe this could turn out to be a good trade. Meanwhile, Colorado, you could sit here and say, hey, Colorado, let's talk about becoming even more dominant. I mean, this is a team that's got Byram, you got Taves. I mean, this is a Gerard, a very solid defensive bunch. And now losing Makar is a big deal. You talk about changing the game for sure. But you bring in Marner, you bring in Matthews, you bring in Tavares, you're going to get that power play production from those guys. You add in Rantanen, and you say, hey, can we put up more points, which is what you would expect. I think you're expecting more points, more goals out of the Colorado Avalanche, bringing these three forwards over if you're going to give up that defender, and you expect to compensate for that. Meanwhile, for Toronto, again, you would hope for maybe the same, a little bit lower goal production, but you expect the defense to lock things down, which is really important, especially when you start playing the Bostons of the world in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and you want to lock those guys down and try to find a way to put points on the board. And from that standpoint, you say, hey, you know what, though, we're gonna take a hit on the depth because we're gonna lose two wingers. Obviously, you got to bring two men up, but we're gonna be loaded defensively. And you believe, hey, we bring in Cale Makar. This guy can be a playmaker from the point. He can almost serve like a winger with how nasty he is moving that puck around. I don't want to call him a winger, but he could with the defensive prowess. I think you look at this trade. I could be crazy. I think the Colorado Avalanche would lose this trade based solely on the fact that you're going to get a 23-year-old defenseman. You're trading away a couple older wingers. You're going to also, let's not forget, you're going to open up some cap space because you're only paying two guys instead of three. And you expect these guys could all garner, 9+ million. Obviously, Marner and Matthews already under contracts. You look at that and say, Makar's $9 million for the next 5 years. I mean, McKinnon's obviously getting paid, but that opens the door to bring in some more players, maybe some more depth options. Meanwhile, Colorado doesn't have a lot of options cap space-wise when you bring these guys in for a defender. And I feel like they could still have the solid defensive core they have now, but they can't. You can't replace Cale Makar. I think you can replace a Marner and a Nylander. I hate to say it. I don't think you can replace Auston Matthews. But, I mean, you're bringing in Nathan MacKinnon. I think that's why you say, okay, we're having an even swap here. We're going to send this trade. Obviously, they're going to take it because, well, we control both teams. And we're going to sim up this season and see which team is actually going to do better here with said players. We should probably update the lines and look at the lines, make sure things are looking froggy for these teams, how things are going to be looking. We're talking Rantanen. We're talking Matthews, Marner on the first line, Rodriguez, Landeskog, Nylander on that second. You see that is a nasty first line. Good freaking luck stopping them. But will they stop them? Because if you can, then bottom 6, bottom 9, not so hot. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the other lines. Oh, that's right. We control this team. We can switch it. Duh. First day here. Oh, things look different. MacKinnon, Tavares, first line. That's not going to happen, first of all. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I don't like Riley there. I don't know what I like. I don't know what you do if you're the Maple Leafs here. I mean, I guess you want Riley to be your third man, but you really don't want that. But you look what happened to the wingers when you trade those guys away. It's tough. I said I liked Toronto winning this trade, but all of a sudden, I don't know, they lost all their wingers, but you still have two centers, possibly three, that can carry the wingers they play with. You bring Makar and Riley on that first unit, that's going to be nasty. Will we see them play together? That'd be the next question. Could they separate those two? I think that's very possible. I think we see something like that possibly happen there. Separate your two studs. Your power play is going to have Morgan Riley, Cale Makar, John Tavares, Nathan MacKinnon. A pretty nasty power play, to say the very least. We'll see. We're going to sim this season up. Oh, I'm starting to slide a little bit towards Colorado. A little bit. After seeing the wingers that Toronto lost. But Colorado's top heavy now. And that's the difference for Colorado. They become top heavy. They have no defense. They still have a really good defense. Who am I kidding? They have a lesser defense. Toronto, though, they have a better defense. They're not going to put up the goal. They still have, you can't replace that center play, I don't think, though. Toronto just has that center play where you can play some defense. They're going to put up the goals. They're going to win. Right now, they are dominating teams 5-1, 8-5, 3-2, running over the league right now. First place in the Atlantic. Oh, well, we had to bring it up. Look at that. Lightning Bruins right back up. I mean, how are you going to slow those two teams down? We're going to find out. Toronto's going to try to figure it out this season. Toronto's fighting to make playoffs right now. Toronto is going to miss the play. Okay, I lied. I don't know what I'm talking about. We are not an NHL analyst, to say the very least. They missed the playoffs. Trading for Makar and wow. I didn't see that one coming. But again, that winger play. Rantan's going to put up 37 or 97 points. He's going to lead the Avalanche. Avalanche got 112 points, 52 wins, 12 losses, 3.51 goals for per game. Ridiculous. 2.62 goals against. Again, we talk about the complete player in this, though. Yeah, you're going to lose or you're going to lose Makar. But you talk about a guy like Matthews that can really bail out some defensemen. Like 94 points, 42 goals. Marner, 92 points, 32 goals. Nylander, 67 points, plus 46, 44, 48. You talk about a first line that just ran through the league. You weren't scoring on them. They was going to score on you, though. You best believe that was going to happen. The goaltending. Georgiev, 918. A solid season out of Georgiev. That's important, too. How the goaltending play happened. But obviously, the defense in front of it mattered as well. Samson up 905. Not good. Not compared to Georgiev. 302 goals against. Not good. Matt Murray. Not good. I think we covered the not good part here. What happened here? 88 points. So MacKinnon didn't do what we expected. See, I fully would expect MacKinnon to come to the Leafs. And again, we didn't put him with the talent he's playing with. I would still expect him to come over there and put up 100 points. Makar still had 87, was still nasty as a defenseman. And you wonder if MacKinnon puts up 100 points. Do they make plays? I don't know, because when you consider how the sim ended, the scoring's lower in this game. I mean, 88 is still a really good season. Ryan O'Reilly dropped 76. Tomorrow's 63. They just didn't have chemistry. They just didn't play well. I could have been dead wrong, too, for saying let's put the center play 3 down the middle like that. Nonetheless, Colorado's going to be a playoff team with Auston Matthews and company, and, well, frankly, the Leafs aren't. I will see if this team can get out. What are we doing? We'll see if this team can get out of the first round. That's the next question. Maybe different faces or same faces, different places gets this team out of the first round. A mini Leafs team. They're going to broom job the Minnesota Wild in the first round. They're going to get Seattle in the second, and we'll be seeing you, Seattle. It was nice playing with you. It was good to know you. LA, see you. Oh, yeah, you expected Boston. Colorado's looking to win a Stanley Cup. Boston's looking to slow them down, and they won't. Colorado's going to win a Stanley Cup if they pick up Marner, Matthews, and Nylander. We was wrong. We was way wrong. You took those 3 horses, put them on Colorado. Colorado wins another cup. See you later, Colorado. I guess you're getting rid of Makar and MacKinnon. It's been settled. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.